I'm John Schlegel. Food and housing insecurity can have a devastating impact on individuals and families. These impacts can be particularly acute during the winter months and emotionally crushing around the holidays. Thanks to the generosity of donors, charities, and volunteers, area residents will not have to go hungry this winter. Today, I'm with Brian Smith, Executive Director of Lebanon County Christian Ministries here on South 7th Street in Lebanon City. LCCM is just one of several providers of meals and packaged foods for people in need. Brian, thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. Can you tell us a little bit about LCCM and its mission and all the things that occur here?
Yeah, so Lebanon County Christian Ministries, our mission is to share the love of Jesus through food, shelter, and in promoting connections to well-being and a healthy community. Our vision statement's investing in people, improving lives. Yeah, so in the early 1980s, the community came together as there were a lot of changes happening here in the Lebanon City and the community surrounding Lebanon City. The elimination of jobs at Bethlehem Steel was a big part of that. The need has continued to grow, and the organization has adjusted to those changes as well, particularly in the way we do our food distribution, obviously in the amount of food distribution, but also the way that we do other programmings like our Uplift Light and our Uplift program that address sustainability for life and growing individuals who are living in ALICE or asset limited income constrained and employed, or individuals who are facing a crisis such as need of heating oil or utility assistance. The main thing that we're going to see today is our food distribution that's taking place. We do food distribution 4 times a week at 3-hour blocks, serving over 500 households every week, as well as our new meal that serves over 130 individuals every day. So yeah, John, so this is the free new meal space. So every day from 12 to 1, we're serving a meal Monday through Friday here, some Saturdays, but on the weekends, it's hosted by churches locally. Volunteer groups come in and prepare the meal. We purchase the food with the state food dollars. They prepare the meal. Part of the guidelines are individuals will eat the meal here. We really have a focus, and I hope you'll feel that as we walk around. The public-facing areas, our focus is really a warm, welcoming, dignified approach. So this space, I call it the refresh, not renovation, of just kind of making it feel more home and a dining experience for our guests. We have real silverware, real plates, and that seems maybe trivial to some folks, but that's really critical when we're bringing folks in. 30% of the guests that come to the meal report it's their only meal that they get for the day. And then we do it seasonally. Yesterday they put the Christmas kind of theme up, and so we'll celebrate the holidays here with our guests. On the other side of this wall is a space that we won't go over to. That's a drop-in center, so we've partnered with Step Into Life Ministries. So Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2, individuals who are experiencing homelessness and maybe are not in a shelter for many different reasons and purposes have the ability to just stop in, get a cup of coffee, and we talk a lot about outcomes and expectations. Over there, the outcomes are that people get loved on. There's not a whole lot of data we're looking for. And then the next step is like connecting to resources and trying to get folks connected. So that's open 9 to 2, Monday through Thursday. And Nate from Step Into Life, they're just great partners. We've donated the space to them. Again, my heart is that this building becomes a place that people are comfortable coming to and experience a warm, welcoming environment.
Well, this is certainly a beautiful setting for the folks to come in and have the noon meal. Interestingly and ironically, I might add, you had mentioned about the volunteers that helped to serve up the noon meal, and today we have some volunteers from Zion of Iona United Methodist Church in South Lebanon Township that are here with us. Yeah. So we most appreciate their willingness to volunteer.
We could not do the work that we do. About 120 different unique volunteers touch our ministry every week, which is just unbelievable.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's check out the market. So John, this is the market on 7th. Again, we believe that words matter. So not only the environment, but the words that we use are really important. So it's not a food pantry. It is, right? But we market it as the market on 7th. We have goals, not limits. So we are trying to encourage people to think about budgeting. When you start down the fresh produce line, you want to make sure that you have enough left in your budget for the milk and eggs at the end. We have it set up like a grocery store with the higher quality fresh stuff on the outside, the more shelf stable on the inside. This space is currently serving about 500 households every week. Our guests can come every 14 days. The average visits are about 1.4 times per month. So not everybody's coming every 14 days. We've made some changes in our mission and our priorities, and we're going to be moving into the new space in January. And as we walk around, we're going to take a look at what that looks like. But this will become a community connection space where our guests will be able to come inside. Again, best practices, bring folks inside, but we're bringing community partners in. So individuals that can get them enrolled in SNAP, individuals that can go to federally qualified healthcare facilities, trying to meet folks where they are and provide just a dignified, warm, welcoming experience.
Can you talk a little bit about how much of the need is there in our community for the services that LCCM provides?
Yeah, so statistically, there was a report that was done by the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, which is our hunger mapping, and that identified that 10% of our community is living in poverty, but 10% of our community is also living in a food insecure household. If we add poverty and the ALICE together, it goes over to about 36% of the individuals in our community are living paycheck to paycheck or not making ends meet. Those numbers continue to roll in the city of Lebanon and escalate. Children are 76% more likely to be food insecure in Lebanon County than adults are. So it really addresses the importance of seeing families coming to our market and our meals as needed. It's tough to put it to just one thing, but we look at some specifics and we know that diapers have increased by 58% on the backside of COVID. Formula has increased from 15 cents per ounce to $1.15 per ounce. These numbers are just staggering and they make it really difficult for young families to be able to make ends meet. Yeah, so we are blessed that we do receive state food purchase dollars to the Department of Agriculture. We are able to utilize those dollars for the purchases of food and some administrative expenses. The food dollars, 50% of that goes towards our meal. We have a meal here every day, Monday through Friday, and then at churches locally. There's also some meals that are in the Palmyra, Schaeferstown, and Newmanstown area on a rotating basis. The other portion of the dollars go towards purchasing food for the market. We're able to provide $10,000 a year to the Caring Cupboard and Joy Pantry for them to purchase through Central PA Food Bank, as well as partnering with the Power Packs program and providing $5,000 for them. Those organizations then, like the Salvation Army as well here in Lebanon City, can purchase through Central PA as a partner agency and purchase for much lower cost than we do at the grocery. John, this is like almost a different little pantry that is different than down below. This pantry is specifically for our Uplift program. Our Uplift program is a life change program. It's individuals walking with our life coaches. They meet every 2 weeks for 9 months, right? So when we talk about commitment, this is a commitment that's really, really a serious commitment. People want to make life change. The reason we have two pantries is that the state-funded federal program has mandates that come from the state and the federal government as to income limits. These items are purchased by the ministry through grant funding or through partnerships with grocery stores. Gives us the ability to kind of customize what it is. We recently got a grant from the Kiwanis Club that we were able to provide formula, diapers, and wipes to every family that's going through our Life Change program. And one of the things we had talked to a young couple and said, what's the number one thing that you've experienced? And they've done one-on-one financial counseling, they've done goal setting. And the number one thing they said was the ability for diapers, wipes, and formula to be funded for us because the basic needs were met for our kids. And if their kids' needs aren't met, then they struggle.
Excellent.
This was our clothing bank. And what we want people to understand is that we didn't just stop serving clothing. We've changed kind of the model of the way we're going to do things and go from transactional to relational. So just like we talked about the dignity and the experience of shopping in our market, our clothing bank was a little bit more of like you came in, you picked some things out, hopefully we had sizes you need. If we didn't, we couldn't help you. You left with a trash bag full of clothing. What we've done is we transitioned to doing an intake process for all of our utility assistance and clothing, which is called Uplift Light. There's no guarantee of services, but what we've identified is we need to understand who's coming for services in a better way. And that's really what we've been pushing to do. And what we've learned in that is that 45% of the folks that are coming for food or for clothing or utility assistance, so 45% of the people that are coming for clothing or utility assistance have never been to our food pantry or another food pantry. So that's a problem, right? So we want to get people access to that food, should let them know where it is. So we do referrals for individuals. And then if things meet our kind of outline for clothing, then we've partnered with Jubilee Ministries and we're able to give them a gift card to go to Jubilee Ministries. Not everything is guaranteed, right? It's about a conversation. But man, when they get to go to Jubilee, now they shop just like you or I do. And again, it's a dignified experience. So this space, we're taking our old floors. This building used to be a sewing factory. We're taking the old floors down. We wanted to keep the integrity of like what it was. And so these will be wrapped up here this week with a new coat of lacquer on it. We've repainted the walls. We're getting some curtains put in. And this space will have market space as well as restocking space here. Everything will happen right inside of this room for shopping and restocking. And we're just, again, being as efficient as we possibly can is so important to us. So this is, it's a kind of a hot mess right now, but middle of January, we'll invite you back and it's going to be beautiful. Yeah. One of the things that we're talking about is our mission statement has shelter in it. Our shelter's called Fresh Start. It was called Hopes. There was a partnership many years ago, in about 10 plus years ago, LCCM took the shelter over as a primary program that we do. We were so blessed that kind of in the middle of COVID, we did a strategic plan and identified we needed to do our shelter differently. It operated in a cold shelter model, rotating from church to church. In February of this year, we moved into a single site where guests come to do intake, they spend the night. The place is just a really warm, beautiful space. We partnered with the Chestnut Street Community Center. They purchased an old church. We renovated 4,600 square feet. We have bed capacity for 24. My director's there, my staff are there, and then our volunteers come in overnight. There's a bed there for our volunteers, full laundry facilities, 3 full bathrooms, a study room, a kids' playroom, dining room, kitchen, living room. It's just a spectacular space for folks. It is an emergency shelter, so the idea is 30, 45 days we provide a safe place. We look on workforce development, we try to get people moving, and then find them housing. And it's a really a great environment over there. Probably one of the biggest things that we've observed as far as a transition post-COVID is it's been less families and more seniors. I think it's something that we've identified through a housing study here in Lebanon County, and I think many other counties, is our population is aging, and the housing and the affordable housing for our aging population doesn't necessarily meet the needs of those that are seeking housing. And that's a little scary because much of that is fixed income. So we are continuing here in our community to try to find ways to address that.
Very interesting and very much monitoring and adjusting to best meet the needs in our communities. And that's very impressive, and we're always impressed with the work that you do and at LCCM and the services that they render to our community. So thank you.
Thank you, John.
Lebanon County Christian Ministries is just one of several local organizations providing food or hot meals to individuals and families in need. If you need help or want to lend your support, please visit www.repschlegel.com for a list of food pantries and meals served in our area.